Hello all, 'tis I, Ragarath, back again, and this is the second Monday since Lauren last did a video. So we get a new video today from Firehose, and this one is called Techtonica. It's getting a public test cave. So I'm not sure what this is, so let's dive in and have a look.
Hello. If you don't know who I am, I'm Lauren from Firehose Games, back with another bi-weekly update. 0.3 is out, and we're so hyped on that. The community reaction has been so awesome. So thank you everyone who's been playing, who's been getting Techtonica. It's been really great to see the reaction to this one and see all the streams and videos and just content you made. If you aren't in our Discord already, join it and you'll see some cool things people have built, talking about new features, just exploring everything that's new in 0.3. But today we have a very exciting announcement. We are opening up a public test cave for Techtonica on Steam. Yes, Rob named this update. I let him because Rob will be in charge of this being updated. So it's, to be clear, it's not an update. This is basically kind of like a public test branch for Techtonica, where you can test out new features and new content before it's like in the official live patch.
Oh, that's cool.
This will allow us to find bugs and just test some features with you guys, see how you feel about balancing, etc., etc. Right now what we're going to do is we're going to kind of talk about when that's coming, how that's going to function. We are not opening it up today. We're going to open it up very, very soon, and we want to tell you guys exactly how it's going to work before we open up the floodgates. Okay, so what we're going to do this week is talk a bit about how to report bugs and other issues and feedback from the public test cave to our team so that we can see them. But first, there's just like a few little housekeeping things I want you to know about the public test cave. First off, and most importantly, there will be narrative and spoilers and other stuff in the public test cave. We will have a spot on Discord to chat about the testing. Please do not chat about this stuff outside of Discord. I am a player, and I'm sure many of you are, who really doesn't like spoilers for the games they're playing. I don't even watch movie trailers because I don't want to be spoiled about what I'm going to get. So please don't make us take this away from you by leaking stuff, and not even leaking, but like just posting about it online. We will have Discord channels set up for you. So those are live right now. If you'd like to hop into them, we have a whole public test cave category. There's a channel to...
From what Lauren's saying here, it sounds like they don't want us to make videos of it and they don't want us to stream it. So that's interesting, because I'm sure there will be people that will do that, and if they do, I hope that at least they tag their videos as spoilers. Anyway, let's continue watching.
Chat in. There is a channel also that will show you everything that gets posted to the feature upvote page, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. But please keep all of that chatter to those channels. It's super, super important to preserve the magic and the excitement of what's coming for players that don't have it yet. Again, these are going to be features that are being tested before the official launches of a patch. So we'll talk a bit about timeline when the first one comes out, but it's pretty exciting. So please don't ruin it for people. Next, a word on localization. So, the game is localized in a bunch of different languages.
Before we get on to the localization, as I said, because they're making it public, I'm not necessarily sure that's the right way to go. I understand catching more bugs, but if they don't want it to leak, I think that may be a problem with a public test realm or cave, as the case may be.
Those localization strings may not be in all the way when you guys get the testing for it. I believe it'll say, here, we'll write it down, it'll say temp in all caps or 3 question marks. That just kind of indicates when something isn't quite in yet. It doesn't mean that we're not adding it. You do not need to report this as a bug. It's just something that has not been fully localized yet in the version that you have. Rest assured, you do not need to report this and clog up all the bug reporting with those because it will be handled. Next, and this is a super important one, the bugs and the features and the feedback that you guys report to us may not be and probably won't be all implemented in any of our patches. We're probably going to get a lot of feedback, and we expect there are a lot of bugs, just like there's a lot of bugs and feedback now, and we do not have the time and the bandwidth to implement all of that and to fix all of the bugs. What we're really looking for is core things that ruin the gameplay, core things that break the game, or things that have really small fixes. Something that's going to take somebody an hour or two to fix versus a really in-depth, long fix that also isn't a breaking bug. We have a blog post actually from a while back, and I'll link the video on here linked here, that talks about like our QA process and our bug triage process that kind of explains our methodology and how we choose what to fix. But just know that like everything that you report will not get changed. So like, please don't be super upset if like the full patch comes out and you're like, I reported this bug and it didn't get fixed. We probably have a really good reason for it. And we're happy to chat about it if you ask us, but just know that like, we are going to read everything and we are going to consider everything. It's just, we are only a small indie dev and we can't do it all, even though we wish we could. So just know because that is also important. And finally, this is a super important one. Your save files from the public test cave will not work if you switch back to like the public or retail branch of the game. Yeah, that's fair enough. So if you are going to load in an earlier save from like the public branch, please make sure that you save your game, back up that save, because you will not be able to switch back. So your auto saves will probably get cleared out. But we just have this is something we do internally as well. So like I can't play.
So hang on a minute. Is it going to wipe them out if we swap? Each time we swap it, it'll wipe them out? Oh, I hope they've implemented an easier way of backing up rather than copying the files manually. Because that's going to trip some people up, I believe.
On my save from a dev testing branch on the public branch, just so that like things don't get messed up by like having save files that have like a zillion different branches on them. So know that like your save file from the public test cave, you will not be able to like go back to the public branch and play. So if it's super important to you to have like one continuous save that works forever, don't switch to this. But if you don't care about that, you're going to see some really cool stuff. And it's kind of cool to see the things that are in development that are constantly changing. You'll see like earlier iterations of things, and it'll be really exciting to be able to like kind of peel behind the curtain and look at some of the stuff we're doing. Speaking of that, the features and balancing that are in the public test cave may not be the final. We may take some features out. We may add some new features in. We may change the balancing. Don't expect what you see in the public test cave to be the final version of stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's just going to be, playing about, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't, seeing what people like and seeing what they don't like.
Which is exciting. You may get to test something like crazy that like doesn't work at all and we'll take it out. Or you may get to like, see some balancing that makes things way easier and we'll have to remove it because like we accidentally balanced something wrong. So it will be really fun to get to play around with like, a broken version of the game, but just know that like it may not make it into the final. And speaking of broken version, yes, there are going to be bugs, and that is the focus of this vlog post is to talk about how you can report bugs, how to create a bug ticket, and what is most important to let our team know about those bugs. So Rob wrote this very long essay on how to report bugs and how to do it properly. So you're gonna see me looking at my notes because I wanna make sure that what he said is communicated properly. In case you don't know, Rob is our QA lead. He's in charge of all the QA for the game, all of the testing, all of the like finding bugs and figuring out how they work. We have like a pretty decently sized QA team here at Firehose, and he is in charge of like all of the extermination of the bugs. He actually in the blog post called himself the exterminator. So like if you just want to call Rob the exterminator from now on, totally fine with that because that is what I'm going to be doing. So without further ado, let's talk about some bugs. So first and foremost, when we launch the public test cave, we are going to also launch a feature upvote board similar to what we have for current existing feedback.
Yeah, okay.
That will be for you to be able to report bugs and feedback to us from the public test cave. So you'll be able to like go on there and search, see what other people have said, upvote bugs that are bothering you, comment and provide other feedback. So let's talk about like proper practices for feature upvote to make it easier for us to use, which in turn makes it easier for us to fix your bugs and hear your feedback. So first off, if you are reporting a bug, include the word bug in the title. It should be the first word of your post. It will make it so much easier for us to tell what we're looking at if you literally just type bug in all caps, a dash, and then the rest of your ticket. Here is an example of what that could look like. If it is a crash or a critical issue, make sure you include this in the title. this is a bug that causes my game to crash, and explain a little bit about what the bug says. It's kind of like how we write JIRA tickets internally. It's really important to write a title that reflects exactly what's going on in a short sentence so that it's easy for us to see as we're scrolling past. It'll save us a lot of time and save time on our end, means that we can fix more stuff for y'all. So it's very important that we all try and adhere to this. I'm just going to compare 3 different titles so you can understand like what's, how they get better. So first off, filter inserters are broken. Doesn't say bug, doesn't explain what's going on in the title. Could mean anything except we know filter inserters are involved. 2, bug - filter inserters stop working on my save game. Okay, we've got a little bit more detail. Don't really know why they stopped working. Don't really understand what's going on. But it does say that it's a bug, and we know that filter inserters are involved. And lastly, bug - filter inserters stop taking items off of conveyor belts when I load my 0.3 save game and 0.4 PTC. This is perfect. It explains exactly how the filter inserters are broken. It tells us that it's a bug. It lets us know the behavior that occurred to cause this to happen by loading at 0.3 save and 0.4 PTC, and it gives us a lot more detail to work with. Speaking of, please only report bugs on feature upvote. Do not rely on the Discord channels for this. Discord moves really fast, and because it moves so fast, we can lose stuff on there pretty easily. So if it's an important bug, please make sure that you put it on feature upvote. If you want to chat about it with other people in Discord, that's totally fine. Again, only in those PTC channels. Just make sure that you are reporting it on feature upvote. Before you get to this point, make sure that you are searching to see if someone else has reported that bug. It happens a lot on our public feedback website right now. A lot of people will make the exact same comment that someone else has, and it kind of makes it hard for us to judge what's important to people, because then we have to take the time to sort through everything, add up all the numbers, put all the comments together, and it kind of just adds on layers of time, which, when it's one post that happens to, it's not that much time, but when it's 20 posts that happens to, all of a sudden...
Yeah, this is an important one, guys. You may think it takes a lot of your time to search through, but in reality, it doesn't. If they end up with 20 bug reports, as Lauren's saying, it's going to take them a lot longer. And if you're trying to help out with a bug report, then just take that little bit of extra time and report it properly. Make sure you've searched for it before. You may not get the right keywords. So try several different keywords when looking for it if you're searching. But that will help out Firehose immensely.
I'm taking an hour trying to figure out what's popular. So it's really important that you search for these bugs. And that's also why it's really important that you have clear titles so that other players can see what you've written, and they'll be able to see your post easily at a glance without having to click into it and know, hey, wait a second, that's exactly what's happening to me. When you see a post that has a bug that is also affecting you, drop in a comment and say, hey, this happened to me. I was doing XYZ, and here's maybe like a screenshot. We may ask you to hop to Discord to send us a save file, but if you are able to comment on that thread and add additional information, it's so helpful. So this is what Rob calls the anatomy of a bug, and here's exactly what you should include in your bug report. First off,
thorax, antenna, legs. Exoskeleton? No?
If you want specific detail, you want to say exactly what is happening in your bug, more detail the better. You don't need to write a 5-page essay, but like a short little paragraph is totally helpful for us to understand what's going on. And these are going to be the things that will be in that report. Rom calls it the 3 whats. So the 3 whats were, what were you doing when the bug happened? What did you expect to happen? And what did the game do instead? So here's like a little short example of a good one. I loaded my save game from right before I finished the PT Victor Tier 3 upgrade quest, and I put the last items in the terminal to upgrade it. Then I tried to click the upgrade button. That's what you did. I expected the terminal to upgrade to Tier 4. That's what you expected to happen. But instead, my game locked up. I could still hear the game audio, but the screen didn't change and the game didn't respond to my controller. And that's what the game didn't said. This gives us all the information that we need to go and try and reproduce the bug on our end to try and fix it. And this helps us understand like what the expected behavior was from the game and what you thought was going to happen, so that we understand the thought process from players as to what was happening when the bug occurred. What was happening is also really helpful. Like, I loaded in a save from 0.2 and then I was on 0.4 and this bug occurred. It didn't happen with 0.3, or this bug happened and I tried reloading the save and it still happened. as much detail as you can add, the better. So some other information that's really helpful for us to have, and again, I'm just going to read these because I want to make sure I get them all. How often does the bug happen? Is it every time you do the described action, only some of the time, or it's only happened once? Has this happened when you're playing the current version? Did it happen on the prior versions as well, or just on the PTC branch? Were you playing in single player or multiplayer? And if so, were you the client or the host? The host is the person that started the game, and client are like people that connected to it. There are, like, for example, issues for like desyncs and other stuff that can get caused by multiplayer. So it's really important to know if you're the client or the host. If you reload or save or restart the game, does the bug go away? This happens with a lot of bugs, and so like we don't consider them game breaking a lot of the time because if you reload, they simply go away. What are your region and language settings? There are some bugs that only occur in certain languages or only occur when you're, loading the game and your computer is set in one language and you're loading the game in another. So even telling us exactly what region settings your computer is on is actually very important. There was a bug at launch that was caused by this because some countries use a comma instead of a decimal, or a decimal instead of a comma, so it caused some issues with the gamma for us. And knowing their region and language settings was really important. And is there anything unique about your setup that seems like it might be important? Like if you're using a certain type of controller, streaming software, stuff running in the background, etc. Like there have been some interplay with like Discord overlays and stuff with the game. So it's really important for us to know if you have anything special going on your computer. And finally, thank you so much for helping us with this. We are so excited to get PTC to y'all. It's going to happen soon. Lastly, I'm going to leave you with how do you access it? So PTC branch public test cave will be a beta on Steam. So what you're going to do is you will right click the game, then you will go down to
change beta on Steam
properties. Then you're going to click on betas when it brings up the menu, and then you're going to click public test cave. It's really easy to access. Just make sure that you know which you're on. There'll be warnings on the screen and stuff. You may need to download an update once you get there, but as soon as it does, you're ready to go. There will be more information soon as to what's coming and when we're going to release this. It will be very soon, I promise. But we wanted to explain everything to y'all about how it's going to work, because I know that if we didn't, that you guys would just jump in immediately and be like, hey, there's bugs in here. And we're like, yeah, we know. But thank you so much for your support as always. It's really great having such a community that rallies behind us, and seeing the reaction to 0.3 has really made a lot of people on the team happy. It's been really great. So thank you so much again from the bottom of our hearts. As always, please like and subscribe. We are a small indie studio, and all of your support helps. Anything you can do helps. So thanks so much, and I will see you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.
Okay, so as Lauren has just mentioned, and as I always say on the end of my videos, make sure you jump over to Firehose's original video, watch that, like that, subscribe to their channel. And, hopefully you watch mine for any commentary, although there has not been too much in this today because Lauren was describing an entirely new thing that we're going to be getting. I have a few questions about it, which I'll probably fire off to Lauren or have a look on Discord and see if they've already been asked. And, Anyway, if you've enjoyed watching this with me, please give me a like, and I'll catch you all in my next episode. Thanks for watching. Bye.